if I was in LA. California dreaming on such a winter's day. Hello. Good evening. Guten Tag. How's everybody doing? Huh? I'm gonna have to go get myself a drink. My dumb ass came all the way out here, got everything ready, didn't bring a drink. Any residuals from the vaccine? Only slightly. Like every day has been better. Yesterday I was way better. Felt way better yesterday. Today I feel even better. Like I slept really hard last night. So just like a lingering kind of like, I'm at 99%. Second Pfizer dose felt like a train hit me. Yeah. Yeah. Zigo was just alright. I don't care what they may say. I don't care what they may do. I don't care what they may say. Zigo was just alright. Oh yeah. Actually, the opposite of a busy day so far. It's actually been a really nice, low-paced day. You guys remember when I was talking to you? Some of you may not. Remember when I was talking to you a little while ago about some upcoming time off that I had? Well, this is it. I'm headed Pismo's way now. Oh boy. My favorite place on the planet. Enjoy it. Try to ignore the tourists and appreciate the beauty. Pismo's a different place than it was when I was a kid, but I still love it. It's now much more of a tourist place than it was when I was a kid. It was still touristy when I was a little kid. I'm not trying to claim it was like Frontier or some shit, but Pismo's not what it used to be, but still the most beautiful crescent stretch of beach in California. Hey, you could go to Avila. It's right fucking there. I don't know if a van full of rubber tramp kids are going to be all that fucking well received in Avila Beach, though. I may be wrong about that. Avila Beach is a little hoity-toity place. Pretty beach. But I get odd looks when I go there, so. We are in California. Look at you, goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Back in Cali once again. I never knew you left Cali. I thought the High Church of Goat versus Fish was in California. I guess I'm mistaken. That's my presumptuousness. You know us fish are presumptuous. I live on the coast too. My beaches are all rocky though. I like a rocky beach. I enjoy a rocky beach. Boomers making comments about my colored hair makes you die inside. Well, just keep in mind that those boomers are literally dying inside and quicker than you. So You know, it won't be long. It won't be long till there's hardly anybody around who gives a fuck what you do with your personal appearance, and thank goodness for that. Ever smoke blunts? Occasionally. Like blunts are like a social thing for me. Like if I'm gonna roll up a blunt and smoke it, I want to have like 2 or 3 people to pass to, because like smoking a whole ass blunt myself seems a little extra dextra. You know, a good like 3/4 ounce J is like straight to the head, fine for me. Not 1/4 ounce, 1/4 gram or whatever the fuck. Your tolerance must be pretty damn high. It's all right. Trust me, it's nowhere near what it used to be. My tolerance during the drunken peasants days was legendary. Absolute fucking legend. Nowadays, you know, I'm your average middle-aged stoner nowadays, probably. Ah, I see. Goat versus fish. I see. Well, good luck to you in your travels to spread the gospel of goat versus fish. I still hold my card, I believe. Should still be here. Where's my fish card? I shall be very disappointed if my fish card is not present. For I am in need of proof of my fish lineage. Aha! No, that's doctor's appointment. I've got it somewhere. Fuck. I switched wallets recently. I'm pretty sure my fish card is still in here. I'm gonna be pissed off if I don't have my fish card, dude. If I have somehow misplaced my fish card, I will never forgive myself. Well, it's definitely here somewhere. It exists, goat versus fish. I've shown it before. I've shown my credential before. At least now I know when my appointment is. Yeah, true. Scotty, would I put a landmine in bowl? Oh, Scotty would put a landmine in the bowl, yeah. Put a big old blob of wax in the middle of a bowl. Fucking Scotty. Such an asshole maneuver. Hey, Paul. And I fell for it how many fucking times, too, because I'm such a stoner. You come out with, like, one of these nice bowls that he owns. Scotty, you know, he collects, like, pipes. Scotty's got a pretty respectable little collection of glass. Like, not necessarily, like, big glass, but, like, he likes, you know, different styles of pipe. So Scotty would bring out one of these beautiful, and something else you need to know about Scotty, too, as a smoker. Scotty keeps his pipes clean. When you smoke over at Scotty's house, you're never getting that, like, medium resonated pipe that you get at a lot of people's house. Scotty don't play that. Scotty brings you a fucking pipe. That shit is like it just came off the fucking store shelf. You see through that motherfucker, right? Hands it to me. Paul, I packed this bowl. I want you to take greens, man. Scotty? Then I'd hit it and ignite the giant fucking wad of wax that he'd put in the center of it and take a fucking rip worthy of a king, but have a lung full of wax. And I'd die coughing and he would die laughing. He loved it. The old Scotty landmine. Stepped on a landmine yet again. Yeah, that's definitely a prank that I could have played on me every day, by the way. That is about the kindest and most pleasant prank that anybody would ever play on a person, I think. And I would be 100% open to being pranked like that at any point. Hey man, I ate 4 grams of shrooms to listen to Yoshimi Battles Pink Robots. Needless to say, I took way too much and was sent to another dimension. What was the other Flaming Lips album you like? So I like a lot of Flaming Lips albums. Pretty much can't go wrong. I'm trying to remember the name of can somebody in the chat do Google Foo for me and find out? Oh, it's called Psychiatric Explorations of the Fetus with Needles. I believe is that a song name or is that an album name? So there's a song called This Here Giraffe. If somebody could look for me which album the Flaming Lips This Here Giraffe is on, that's a really great album. I also like The Soft Bulletin. Probably my favorite Flaming Lips album is The Soft Bulletin. Yes, I've had Moon Rocks, but only once. Now that's an album name. I can't remember if that's the album name and the title, like the title track of the album. I know it's a song, but I can't remember if that's actually the name of the album. Clouds Taste Metallic. There you go. See? See, didn't remember the album name, but yeah, on that album is a song called Psychiatric Exploration of the Fetus with Needles. Great song. Clouds Taste Metallic. Thank you, Chad, for using Google when I cannot. What genre is Flaming Lips? Psychedelic rock, probably, I would say. Psychedelic alt rock. Yeah, I mean, if you've never heard, if you really want to fuck yourself up, try and get your hands on a copy of Zaireeka and listen to it in a like 7.1 surround sound environment turned all the way up. The Flaming Lips made this, I've talked about it a couple shows ago. They made this experimental fucking CD, like album called Zaireeka, which is made to be listened to in some impossible type of like 22-point theater. But if you have like a really good surround sound system, is one of the most amazing fucking things you'll ever listen to. It's like a total experience. Transmission from the Satellite Heart, also a great album, yes. Not one of my not like on my top 3, obviously, but I just love the Flaming Lips. I love the lips, yo. I love the lips. Another band that a lot of people sleep on that's I feel like is in the same genre. In fact, a lot of people consider them to be like a pioneer of the genre that the Flaming Lips is part of, this kind of psychedelic indie rock. A favorite of Kurt Cobain, the Meat Puppets. My favorite album of theirs, if you're looking to expand your horizons into similar sounds, is Up on the Sun. It was made in the 80s. So it's an older band. But if you listen to it, it doesn't sound like an 80s band. My favorite song on that album is Swimming Ground, and special mention to Buckethead, for whom I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can check me on this, the band Buckethead named themselves after that song. Fill up the bucket with whatever you got. Make sure it's something that the bucket likes a lot. Bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. It's a dope song. Do 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 do. Got no head. It's a bucket with teeth. And it loves to dream. It loves to sleep. The window's hot. High as the moon. Fill up my bucket. Do whatever I choose. Fill up the bucket with whatever you got. We've seen the bucket head. It shreds chicken, yes. I wish YouTube allowed you to play music. A music stream would be fun, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it though? I think I can get away with a lot more than I think I can, considering I don't care about monetizing these here streams. So I think I could probably do something like a music stream, but I don't know. I've seen people using whole ass like songs to intro their streams and shit. You know they're just giving their whatever little tiny bit of monetization to that artist via a copyright claim. And it's like, how do you know which songs are cool? Maybe there's a list. Maybe there's like a list of songs that you can play on YouTube that will only trigger, you know, monetary claims rather than takedown notices. Well, not all of them. That's the thing, dude. I was watching, I can't even remember what it was. It was a stream that I wanted to check out a part of. Somebody had linked me to it, and the opening was the entirety of Long Night by Ween, which I know is 100% fucking copyrighted song. Yeah, Scotty and Taylor do Highdeologies, and they have music playing in the background sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just like, you bring the razor blades, I'll bring the speed. We'll get together, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a cat fight. Don't need an ambulance, don't need a priest, don't need a doctor, call the police. You bring the razor blades, I'll bring the speed. We'll get together, it's gonna be a long night. What are we seeing? What are we seeing? I hate it when people say, anybody else seeing this? What? Seeing what? No. Seeing what? Not a skeleton. Don't make me laugh, dude. Skeletons don't come out during the day. You think I was born yesterday, kid? Hmm? Good try, Aaron. Good try. Good try. I've never seen the choke on D's nuts animal. Anybody seen that Chocondi animal? Chocondi? Chocondi nut! I'm pretty good at playing Ligma. You really can't get me with a Ligma. Every once in a fucking blue moon, somebody nails me with a Ligma. But it's typically me that gets the audience with it. I've gotten you guys a few times with fucking some good ones. Like, I pulled out some fucking dirty ones. So you're not gonna win that battle with me, man. Trust me. You did not come fucking prepared to play Ligma with me. Okay? Lord of Duck got me with one. I can't remember which one he got me with. Yeah, I got you with, remember? A couple streams ago, I was talking about, like, I can't believe that fucking Mortal Kombat didn't have Choke On in it. You were like, Choke On? I was like, choke on these nuts. Slaw bunnies, yeah. Slaw bunnies, yeah. He got me with, he nailed me with a slaw bunny. He did. Knocked it out of the park, but like I said, oh yeah, I got you guys with the rare cat breed Tegaloo. Yeah, Tegaloo cats. Tegaloo cats? Tegaloo cats, these nuts, bitch! Oh my god, dude, I just watched the Nuts on Your Chin sketch like 2 days ago. No shit. It came up on my YouTube Shorts thing, so I watched it. D's nuts. I love that guy. I love that one, dude. That one, you know what, dude? It has the same energy as the I Said Bitch skit. Have you seen that one, Marshall? Where the dudes are trying to, like, talk about their women together. I said, bitch. I looked that woman dead in the windows of her soul. And I said, bitch. He goes out to space to say it. Is that the first one that they did? That's a great skit. And they're like up in a tree. They climb a tree to escape her. They're like sitting up in a tree somewhere. I've been watching like just the single Key and Peele sketches lately. Not all of them are out of the park, but like so many of them are so good. Just so funny. Yeah, I liked Get Out. I did not like Us. So I was very divided on his horror movie entries. I really fucking thought Get Out was like just a fresh fucking concept for a movie. Just like really great fucking way to make social commentary and still be like scary and funny about it. So I thought that movie was just out and out brilliant. And then Us came around, and I was, you guys, if you've been watching me since back in the day, like, you know, I was hyped for Us. The trailer for Us was one of the best trailers I think of any, like, the last 10 years. Like, the art of the trailer has gotten so fucking like, it's all just blah now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say blah? Anybody not familiar with what I mean when I say it's all blah? Like, that's what trailers are now. Blah. There's something we have to do. Blah. And you're not gonna like it. Blah, blah. We can do that? Blah, blah. Blah. You know, it's just like, all right, I've seen Inception. Can we? But the Us trailer started with a sound that if you're from California and you grew up in the fucking 90s, is immediately recognizable. The trailer comes on and it goes, doo doo doo, and I go, Lunas? Do I have 5 on it? Pulled you in like that. Sucked you in immediately with this really awesome dark inverted remix of I've Got 5 on It by Lunas. And so I was hyped as fuck for that movie, and it was just, it didn't land. Like, it just didn't land. I don't know how to put it. Like, there were some good, I guess, individual performances. Mostly the lead character, Lupita Nyong'o, I think is her name. She was pretty good in the goddamn movie. I'm not gonna shit on her performance, but like, she couldn't carry it. Like, there was too much other shit that was not good. Like, to give you an example, I think that Get Out struck that perfect tone. It was so unique in tone because it was serial comic horror, right? So it's not like it's the first one that's ever done that. But serial comic horror, that is such a tough fucking thing to walk, right? It's like a balance beam. And if you don't shoot it just right and conceive it just right and write it just right, then it takes you out of one of those other two feelings. You know what I mean? So it has to be believably, ironically funny and can't feel like it's written to be funny, right? Or if there is some kind of ironic funniness, have it come in bursts. Like the friend in fucking Get Out, right? The crazy friend that works at the airport. So I feel like that Jordan Peele set out to walk that same balance beam with us and fell and fucking, you know what I mean? You know what happens when you slip on a fucking balance beam? You're going straight down. You're getting a crotch shot, right? I feel like fucking Us was kind of a crotch shot to his credibility as a fucking director because it just like, it was tonally all over the fucking place. I could never be afraid, which sucked because I feel like it, like, I feel like it presented a very scary concept. This idea that everybody has a doppelganger that's evil, right? And that every once in a while people switch places with them, or one of them comes out into the world to try and take the place of the other. That's such a scary concept. Us was, yeah, us. Yeah, well, for the logical breaks, dude, you have to kind of get over logical breaks here and there if you're gonna like horror. I do agree that Us was had a little much of it, but what really killed it for me was the comedy. It was funny, but the funniness, like it was funny, but they had to sacrifice the horror on the altar of comedy. It really wasn't scary other than in a jump scare way, which I don't consider that to be scary. That's cheap. I can do that to anybody. I can go, blah! You know what I mean? Like that cost me nothing, and about 15, 20 people at least probably just went, ooh. You know what I mean? Like a jump scare does not a horror film make. Dinosaur's good at the jump scares. Gotcha. Gotcha. I Blair Witched you. It's all in the eyes, Marshall. Acting, I mean. It's true of stage acting, too. That's one of the first lessons that I learned. It's all in the peepers. You can do so much with just your eyes. You have to have accessible emotion, though. It's all in the eyes. Even from the stage, even from the nosebleeds watching a stage show, it's all in the eyes. We naturally follow people's intent with their eyes. Blair Witch will be the only movie to do what it did to people, the insane thinking it was real. Yeah. I mean, it's like not really a joke. I mean, maybe I think people will probably be able to fall for it again, but you know, it's hard to pull that trick twice in a short time span, right? Like that's the idea. It's not necessarily that you can only do it once. Well, you understand why we evolved to follow each other's eyes, right? Tools. Looking for danger, yes. Following the intent of somebody to grab a stick or a rock and bash your head in with it, and learning to evade that attempt and kill the person attempting to do it to you. Or what would have passed for a person in our distant cousinhood. This hair just doesn't want to be up in a fucking bun today. I don't know what to do with this shit. The shit over here on the goddamn sides is driving me fucking insane. I don't know why it won't stay in the fucking ponytails that I do. Usually it does, but today it just won't. It's gonna stick out over there. Fuck it. Hang out. You're bothering me more than anybody else, so just hang out over there. When's the last time I visited Los Angeles? It would have been the DFF Los Angeles meetup. Am I fucking wrong about that? Fuck. Don't take me there. That was a great fucking meetup, but just don't take me to that trip. It was just fucked up, man. It was just a fucked up time in my life. LA traffic is worse than people make it out to be. There are parts of LA traffic that are literally worse than anything that you can imagine. We're talking like 16 lanes of continuous one-way traffic with automatic feed-off lanes on each side, where the center lanes are at a crawl because everybody is trying to merge and everybody else is doing 80. So you're talking about 2 to 3 lanes of 80 miles an hour on either side, and then an infinite sea of people in the center desperately trying to merge onto the automatic feed-off lanes. LA is a literal hellscape to drive in. I'm not even fucking joking. People don't you can't play it up enough. You have to experience it. Once you've been there and once you've driven it or ridden through it, you'll understand. Until then, you have no fucking clue what you're dealing with. Just be prepared to drive offensively. That's all I can tell you. It's worse at different times of the day, every day. Rush hour, and then major holidays or major events in town make it fucking like double. Trust me, Paul, I sit in LA traffic all day. I listen to you guys so I don't kill myself. See, Smile knows what I'm talking about. Look, dude, you know better than I do. I grew up in the fucking valley and spent a lot of time driving LA just because I had to, or wanted to, because I came to LA to do stuff because I grew up in the fucking valley. I'm taking this fucking hair down. Fuck it. I'll go get a beanie if it bothers me. I'm sick of fucking with that little dangling piece of shit. You don't want to be in a ponytail, just ask. Oh, Phoebes. Oh, Phoebes. Oh, Phoebe. Oh, Phoebe. You're not driving in anything that would be considered to be bad traffic. You're not in any kind of fucking major city right now. I just saw the picture you posted on your Twitter. You're in the middle of God's fucking nowhere headed to Pismo. Like, you're, like... Now, if your plans are to tramp it up in Pismo for a little while and then head on up to LA and see what's cracking, then you'll know. Then you'll know. In fact, you'll get a little peace when you hit San Luis. You left Tulare? You have no fucking clue what you're in for. Oh, it's going to be great, though. You're going to love it. But, yeah. On the way there, the Jack Ranch Cafe. This may or may not be of interest to you, but you're here to sightsee and see some shit. Jack Ranch Cafe is on the way driving where you're driving. You will pass it if you take the common route to Pismo. And the Jack Ranch Cafe is about a mile from where James Dean crashed his Roadster and died. And it's a big shrine to James Dean. Might want to pull in. It's a tourist trap, but if you got to take a leak, you know what I mean? Take a picture. Keep your eye peeled for it. Yep. You're on the 41, that's the route. You're following the 41 through Paso Robles, right? Like, if you look at your fucking navigation, it has you taking the 41 to, like, I can't remember what it is, but it goes through Paso Robles, and then you pick up the fucking, a third, whatever, the 101, I think. Right? Because as long as you're passing through Paso Robles, you're going to go right by fucking the Jack Ranch Cafe. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, dude, I'm like a Cali tour guide, especially with the area that Phoebe's driving through. I'm a little distant from there now, but I know that fucking place like the back of my ass. McClintock's, I would actually warn against. Not to be rude. McClintock's is overpriced. And really overpriced due to the fact that it's built up on the hill and has a beautiful sea view, which you can get for free. So, once again, take whoever's fucking thing on it that you want, but McClintock's is overpriced and not that great of food. I would recommend, if you're going to do an eatery in Pismo, definitely don't leave without hitting up Splash Cafe. Even if you're not a fan of clam chowder, just get something there. But I would really recommend clam chowder bread bowl at the Splash Cafe. For breakfast, Old West cinnamon rolls. That's all you need to know. McClintock's is overpriced as fuck, dude. I've been there a couple of times, and like, I've been to restaurants that I paid like half the price for the food that I ate, where I was way blown away. Like, I went to this hole-in-the-wall pupusa joint and got like a bag full of pupusas for like $20. That blew my mind harder than anything I fucking ate at McClintock's, where I paid $110 for me and my ex-wife. It's like, or more. I can't even remember. I think that would have been a cheap night. McClintock's is just... Yeah, Old West Cinnamon Rolls is the place to get breakfast and coffee and shit in the morning. Cheap, good, homemade cinnamon rolls if you're into that. Splash Cafe is your eatery. What's a papusa? It's like a El Salvadorian what empanada. What's the deal with these build more dams sign? Is that part of the problem with Cali's water issue? Yes. So there's a huge, water is a huge political problem in California, and actually a precursor of the coming resource wars over water that our vice president warned us about. But California has been in an unprecedented drought state for about 15 years, maybe even longer. And as such, the current reservoirs are running so low that it's almost laughable. And so there are a lot of farmers that are like farmers or advocates for, California agriculture that are advocating to build more dams over the existent undammed protected river sources to create new lakes and thus new reservoirs of water because California is parched. California draws more water than any state in the nation because it grows almost 80% of the produce that the nation eats. And so water is a huge political thing. You'll see it all up and down your drive. And it's a precursor of the coming water conflicts. As far as I know, they are not building any large-scale desalination plants or desalination plant, however that's pronounced. I have not heard of any plans of as to such for like a large-scale. Would more dams be more damaging with that? Yes. In the short term, it would provide more water to farmers, and in the long term, it would destroy more of California's shrinking ecosystem. I remember when I was a kid, I was in Pismo Beach when I learned that you couldn't just take water from anywhere. I was in Pismo Beach. Now, I knew you couldn't drink seawater when I was a kid. Of course, my parents told me that, but I just assumed that all our water came out of the ocean and that they had some machine that took all the salt out of it. And I was in the shower, and I came out of the shower and got dressed, and I remember we were all staying in a Motel 6 together, and I asked my dad, I said, how do they get all the salt out of the water? And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, how do they take all the salt out of the water? He's like, they don't really. He was like, I guess they can, but nobody really does. He's like, nobody drinks seawater. I was like, oh. It's like water is an infinite resource, just like disappeared from my child mind. I was like, oh, okay. Yep. Southern U.S. will be unlivable by the end of this century, along with a broad swath of the equatorial belt of the planet, and the face of this place will be completely and utterly different, and I think it'll be a fucking hellscape by the end of this century. So we're talking about within the lifetimes of some of the people watching this, if you live a good long life. Best of luck. I left it because it was nigh on unlivable. I literally lived in southern Louisiana. I lived just across the Pontchartrain from New Orleans. I was in the cone of 8 major hurricanes the year that I left. That was the final straw. I'd planned to leave due to other reasons, the oppressive humidity year-round being one of them. But being in the cone of 8 major tropical storm, hurricane, whatever the fucks, in 1 year, which broke the record, by the way, for the New Orleans area. The record, by the way, was set the previous year with 6. So I'd had enough, and I got the fuck out. I'm what you'd like to call a climate refugee. Pure and simple. power outages, major fucking internet outages, horrible, scary storms out of nowhere. Even with living in the cone of 8 major hurricanes or tropical storms that made landfall, the scariest storm I experienced in New Orleans, I didn't even know was coming. That's the crazy thing about it. Like the literal scariest storm that I experienced in New Orleans, I wasn't warned about. Nobody was warned about. We were doing a fucking show. I wish to God I could remember what fucking show it was that we were doing, because we recorded a show that night. We were in TJ's garage studio at his old pad, and we just finished up. We had a little post-show meeting and shit. And I was like, all right, guys, well, I'm gonna fucking head on home. And they're like, all right, dude. And I fucking opened the door. And have you ever opened a door that swings outward and the wind just yanks it out of your fucking hand? That's gotta have happened to a few people in the chat, and you know what I mean. It's like you break the pressure of the room and it's like... That happened, and rain was flying sideways, and the trees in the yard were bent like this at the trunk. Just... I was like, what the fuck? And I grabbed that fucking door and closed it, and the dudes were like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not leaving for a while. You know, they were like, nobody's leaving for a while. The rain came down from, sometimes it was big old fat rain. Then there was sideways rain. And then there's days where it felt like the rain came down from up underneath. Been there, done that. Paul, a Cali native, experienced the heart of the U.S. South. I respect that. That's more than I could ever do. Dude, I've experienced more than the heart of the U.S. South. I've been all over the Pacific Northwest. I've lived in Arizona. I lived all over the goddamn motherfucking place, man. Landed back in Cali, though. At least for the, you know, midterm future. What do you think of van life? You want to live in an RV in California? My parents kind of want to do that. They were talking to me about like how, like some retirees that, because they've got like a little trailer that they pull behind their truck. Yeah, I'm back in Cali. Duh. What do you mean don't do it? I did it like days ago, Phoebe. No. We're talking about living in an RV, not a van, Phoebes. Or are you talking about van life? Don't do van life. I live in South Carolina. We had a tornado touchdown not far from where I grew up last year, which is unheard of. Destroyed houses. I mean, the more and more of that. Live in a truck 3 out of 7 days every week. Fuck, dude. Truck driver. Long haul. Am I right? Well, good to have you with me. Sorry what I did to your people back when I was a teenager. You've heard my CB trolling stories. Be safe. Keep your eyes peeled for them smokies, you know what I mean? They even got a bear in the air. Or so I hear. Everything I know about trucking, by the way, comes from a brief stint that I spent running route trucking. The W.C. McCall song Convoy, and 6 years or so of trolling truckers on the CB before I got shut down by the FCC. So, who doesn't love that song? Dude, a couple of truckers tracked me down when I was a child, no less, yeah. The honorary Latino of Deep Fat Fried. Hey, I ain't the best, but I do my best. I grew up around nothing but Latinos, so I better know at least how to pronounce some last names and shit. I start messing up when it comes to like Central America and shit. You know what I mean? Aaron, no, you're the duck. Dun, dun. What a twist. I loved growing up with Hispanic friends and eating at their house always slapped. Agree. Agree. Hard agree. Need more water. Be right back. Huh. I went and got slightly too high to do a normal Highdeology. The weed man came today, and I was good and high, and then I decided to like just basically smoke 2 joints to the head because hey, the weed man came today, and then that happened, and then now I'm pretty stoned. I mean, there is a normal Highdeology though. That's the implication. There's like sometimes that I do these where like I can't even open my eyes. Look. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. You're not going to get in any trouble if you smoke a blunt on the beach, as long as you don't litter and you're not sitting right next to like a family full of kids. Just go off to a secluded area on the beach and smoke a blunt. Nobody's going to give you any shit about it. And if they do, it'll be some fucking beach cop telling you to fucking take it elsewhere, and that's, you know, I've never had that happen to me though. And I look, you know, like this, so I wouldn't worry about it. You'll find it's different in various areas, Phoebes, when you're in Cali. Like the area that you're riding through right now, I would not smoke a blunt in public. You're riding through the Central Valley, and that's farm country. That's farmer town. You know what I mean? So you got to keep your mind on where you are. When you're in LA and you're outside of fucking venue or some shit, you fucking spark up a J or some shit, nobody's going to give you shit. You're in the middle of fucking Tulare that you just drove through. You don't want to, you know what I mean? Use your I know you know where, but just know that that exists in California too. It's not all weedtopia. I live in a place where I sit out on my back porch and smoke weed all day. But if I were to go like downtown to the nearest place and light up a joint on the sidewalk, there's a good chance somebody's gonna fucking have a problem with it. You know what I mean? So most of the inland empire is that way. And there are some fucking areas too. Like for example, Avila. Somebody earlier said just go to Avila. Well, yeah, but that's a beach where you can't spark a J. Or if you do, you got to be real fucking covert about it because they've got a whole hoity-toity fucking, it's a richy bitch little strip of beach. Pismo is like public access shit. They're not going to fucking care. There are places dotted all up and down the fucking coast too that are more fucking conservative. Once you're heading north, if your plan is to head north along the one through fucking LA, there are different parts of LA that are more conservative. Like you just got to use your fucking head. Take a look around where you're at. Like if you go through LA and you're down on Redondo Beach, I can tell you with 100% accuracy that you could fucking go down there and find a little spot and smoke a J and nobody's going to say anything to you. You're in Long Beach, same shit. You're in Valencia, and probably not. Just the way it is, man. Like it may be legal, but it hasn't caught on in a totally social way. But California, I got to say, is one of the most open states for it because pre-legalization, it was already hyper normalized here. All the weed that everybody else smokes came from here, and anybody that tells you different is a fucking liar. California invented the weed game, so it's been here longer than it's been anywhere else. So I wouldn't worry had too much about it. Like the most likely you're gonna get now that it's legalized is, hey, put that out. Yeah. Well north of LA, and I don't know that I'm gonna pass through it. Our next plan after Slow was hitting Haight Street. Yeah, that's a good idea. And once again, though, downtown San Francisco, the business district is beautiful to go to, and the wharf and shit, but it's probably not a place where it's all that chill to fucking just chief a big fat blunt with your friends. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to be aware that, like, San Francisco has this image of itself in certain areas of itself, and it's at war with itself like any other fucking city. And so Haight Street and Ashbury and the Tenderloin and all that shit, like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be amongst yours. You know what I mean? And tourists who are there to partake. But if you're downtown, Fisherman's Wharf and all that shit around the touristy areas, there's a more hoity-toity fucking attitude that you gotta be aware of. And just one of those things. It's one of those, like, not like bases of knowledge that you kind of assume other people know, but you know because you grew up in Cali. You just kind of assume that other people have this, like, instinct about it. Some people do. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that Haight Ashbury is not what it was in the fucking 60s and 70s anymore. You may have to go off the little beaten path to find what you're looking for. Haight Ashbury has been almost taken over by the touristy side. It's now just like a hippie tourist zone. But that same neighborhood, you go off the beaten path, you find some of the more localized shops and shit, and you'll find what you're looking for there. Just be careful, yo. The Tenderloin is beautiful and dirty, you know? It's dangerous. Just keep your wits about you and shit as you sleep and pick places and all that. I know you do that anyway, but just be aware. This ain't no fuck around Midwest shit. Well, I'm talking about the intersection of Haight and Ashbury, which is the spot that you'll be led to. I'm not necessarily, that's what I'm talking about. Up Haight Street and up Ashbury and down Ashbury in various directions. You're going to find the spots you're looking for. Absolutely. I was talking about that Haight Ashbury tourist spot. Well, maybe you and Raggedy Ann could hook up then. She might have some fucking tips for you there, Phoebes. You might want to, like, exchange, DMs or something. Because she's probably going to know better than I. I've never bummed around San Francisco or any other fucking place. Everybody that leaves does, Isaac. That's the fucking thing about California is there's so many fucking boomerangs. It's not even funny. People like everywhere else are covering rabidly this, like, California exodus. People are leaving California in droves to go to Texas and shit. They're coming right back, motherfucker. After this winter, welcome home. Welcome home. Every fucking homegrown Californian is a boomerang, dude. Do I enjoy being back? Do I look like I enjoy being back? Go look at some of my fucking streams from when I was sitting in the middle of fucking Louisiana and ask me if I enjoy being back. I think the answer is yes. Yeah, dude. It's ridiculous, dude. There's always, dude, California is so huge. There's always people leaving pissed off. You know what the thing about Cali is that it's a place where people come chasing a dream that doesn't exist, and that's why it has a bum rap amongst other states. In California, we know exactly what's what. There are so many people that come here with their fucking eyeballs full of stars and their heads full of fucking dollar green dreams and shit, and they think it's gonna happen here, and for some people it does. But for most people, they find it's just a normal life. How high are the taxes? High in comparison to a lot of other states. You know what the deal is? You want to live in paradise, you got to pay. Isn't that right? They don't hate California. They hate their idea of California. That's the fucking problem. Only people that were born and raised here and spent a significant amount of their fucking lives here. I won't fucking just put it to natives, but I will tell you that there's something about the born and raised Californian mindset that differs from the native, non-native Californian for a long time. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is, when you understand what California is, you don't expect so much from her. And most people have no fucking clue what California even is. They've got an idea in their mind about what California is supposed to be in their mind because they've seen movies and because they've thought about it their whole lives, and they think it's this fucking boulevard of broken dreams kind of fucking place. And it's not. It's a whole fucking ecosystem. It's a whole country in and of itself that is attached to the United States. It has every problem that a country has. It has every beauty that a country has, generally. And that's the way it is. You know, it's, you have the expectation of that going to any state, but for some reason, California is supposed to be this big golden thing. Well, it is in certain ways if you choose to look at it with the right kind of fucking eyes. There's more beauty here than there are in fucking 10 other states combined. But in some places, there are more problems just in one city here than there are in 10 other states combined. So what are you going to do? You don't know till you know. And those people that are fucking filing out of California with fuck California, fuck Gavin Newsom written on signs on their fucking shit and being covered on CNN, they'll either be back or they won't. See, to California, it doesn't matter. Because as those motherfuckers were driving out going, fuck Gavin Newsom, hunk, 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 there were 50 other motherfuckers going, we're in California. They just don't get it. Part of California's economy is breaking people's dreams. It's kind of what it does to people that aren't from here and come here with the wrong set of eyes and expectations. You come to California thinking it is something it isn't. You're in trouble. East LA, raised in the valley, tried out Northern California, but Southern California is your place for sure. But I bounced around the state for sure, dude. What? Dude, everybody's deluded, and then everybody leaves here sour because they feel like California denied them, or they were lied to like by California or about California or whatever, and they all go back home, broken dreams slung over their shoulders. Hey, baby, how's it going? The older generation in San Francisco have a distinct accent that sounds rather New York in intonation. There's a lot of accents in California, just like any other huge land mass. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for chilling.